Hi there. Very good morning to all our viewers who tuned in live this morning. We are watching Newspresso with me, Stacey Pereira. This is a live broadcast here on Moneycontrol. And as the drill goes, we have all the latest updates for you from across the globe and also all that's transpiring here in India, be it in politics or in the world of the corporate world. Well, we have all of that. So stay with us in the next few minutes. We are going to be giving you a lowdown of all that's happening. Well, let's go first to what we're getting from our global dispatch. Well, seems like, snapping that 4-day losing streak where we saw all three major indices on Wall Street ending trade with just about modest gains. The S&P 500 adding just about 0.4%, whereas the Nasdaq advancing by 0.45%. The 30 stock Dow Jones also in just about 0.13% higher. However, stocks are on the pace to end September on a lower note, a month that has already been known for having a historically weak one for equities. It is, though, a crucial week for the US budget, as that standoff between the Republicans and Democrats will really transpire there in the House as well as Senate. We're going to see if that doesn't come through, then a shutdown is what is looming large for the US economy. Now, on the economic front, well, we do have investors which will be keeping an eye out for on Tuesday, that is today. We're going to see the August final building permits report. This will happen before markets open in the US this evening, as well as we're going to see the new home sales data for the last month. There's also the Conference Board Consumer Confidence report for September, which is also due. So all of that data is what is really going to give direction to the markets in the US. But if you look at the European markets, those ones closed Monday on a lower note as well. Investors factoring in the prospects of that higher for longer interest rates. Now, the Pan-European Stock 600 index, that one was down by about 0.6%, whereas Germany's DAX, that was down by more than 1%. UK's FTSE 100 also ended by 0.8% lower. In fact, all major sectors and bourses were in the negative territory yesterday, and it was the travel and leisure stocks which really led those losses, declining by more than 3%, followed by household goods, which also dropped by a good 2%. In a specific action, on stock-specific action, we saw Coinbase, which is the US cryptocurrency behemoth. This one has officially withdrawn its plan to acquire that FTX Europe part of FTX. So that coming in quite interestingly in late hours of trade. So we are going to see how even cryptocurrencies react to this. Interestingly, we did see Germany's 10-year bond yield hit its highest level since July of 2011, coming in at 2.783%. Now, investors are looking ahead at the inflation data set that will be released later this week, in which will definitely go on to influence the European Central Bank in its next move. We are seeing Germany's business sentiment, though, dropping for the fifth consecutive month, adding to the weak set of data, painting that bleak picture, which we already know Germany, which continues to reel under that recession. And let's also put the spotlight on Asian markets, which are trading quite in a mixed range this morning. Data is trickling in from Singapore, where the key consumer price index, or the CPI there, has risen to about 3.4% in August, pretty much in line with forecasts, but also easing compared to July's figure. As for the major indices in Australia, the S&P ASX 200 has risen just about slightly. Japan's Nikkei 225, though, is in the negative. We're also seeing mainland Chinese indices like the Shanghai Composite, which is in the green at the moment. If you look at the GIFT Nifty too, that one is indicating a lower start for the Indian markets. So quite a bit of mixed range of trade for the Asian markets. But let's tell you what's happening in the corporate front, where yesterday we heard from Amazon, which is all set to invest about $4 billion into an AI startup called Anthropic. Now, this is in a step, this is to rival, of course, Microsoft, Meta and Google, as well as Nvidia, who are fast growing in this whole sector. Now, Amazon plans to initially invest a little bit over $1 billion for that minority stake in Anthropic, which will operate as well as give it that AI-powered text analyzing chat box. Now, as part of the deal, we also know that Amazon will be looking at options to increase this investment into Anthropic, which could then total to about $4 billion. Remember, Anthropic is a San Francisco-based AI firm that has its own chat box, which is called Claude, which gives a strong competition to Chat-GPT. And the e-commerce giant is collaborating with Anthropic in order for its advancing generative AI, with the startup selecting Amazon's web services as its primary cloud provider. Anthropic, remember, was founded just about 2 years ago and was formed by former AI research executives. Now, with this deal, Amazon is looking to position itself as a one-stop shop for all things AI. Now, this has been quite a contentious issue, and finally there is some respite, we could say, because the Hollywood writers have reached a tentative deal with the entertainment studios after that 150 long days of a strike. Now, the Writers Guild of America, or WGA, it was a negotiation, and the committee has now decided that there's no immediate disclosure that will approve on what really they've agreed to in that preliminary contract. However, they said that the deal is exceptional. Now, the guild members will be voting on the deal over the next few days, and that's when it will actually come into effect if they've gone ahead and called off that strike. Now, the writers have demanded protection against use of artificial intelligence as well as an increase in their wages. That's among the many demands that they've put forward. But following the news, we did see about this tentative agreement, we did see shares of movie theaters in the US jump quite high. AMC, that one was up about 7%. Cinemark as well as IMAX gained by 2.7 and 1.5% respectively. Although on the other side, the stocks of studio owners like Disney as well as Warner Brothers, those ones were largely in the negative. Remember, Screen Actors Guild of America, Federation of Television and Radio Artists could not reach that labor agreement with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, or AMPTP as they are called. This has really forced many films in Hollywood to actually push back their releases into 2024. The protests and strikes have also come at a time being quite a boon for streaming companies like Netflix, which has populated the libraries and also been quite a threat to these writers. Well, also let's tell you what happened here in our markets yesterday. Well, we saw a range-bound session, we could say, where the Nifty and Sensex both ending rather flat. Now, losses were seen in the IT stocks, which kind of offset the gains that the financial services put forward. We saw the mid-cap index as well as the Nifty Bank really managed to outperform the blue chips in yesterday's session. More importantly, the buzz was around the fact that the National Stock Exchange has put forth that proposal to SEBI to extend its trading hours for the F&O segment at least to the current 6 p.m. as well as to extending it to 9 p.m. and then to 11:55 p.m. as well. It will happen perhaps in a phased manner, and remember, SEBI has that proposal so they can go ahead with it anytime they want. But let's also tell you what you need to be keeping out for on your radar today, which stocks will really be buzzing. We could see some action in Welspun Corporation as its subsidiary Syntex plans to provide water tanks and PVC pipes to the Telangana government. There's also action expected in Stride Pharma as it looks to spin off its CDMO gelatin business into a separate entity altogether, and we could see a new listing perhaps from Stride coming. There's also Tata Steel, wherein Moody's has upgraded the stock to investment grade with a Baa3 issuer rating. So a lot of action expected in the markets. In the primary markets, we're going to get to see Madhusudan Masala as well as Kundan Edifice. Both of these list in the NSE Emerge Index today. Well, and staying with markets, commodity exchange firm, that is MCX, may actually completely cut out its dependence from its erstwhile promoter, 63 Moon Technologies, especially in running the trading on the platform. Now, MCX plans to go live on its new technology platform, which has been serviced by TCS, or Tata Communications Services. And this plan is going to happen as soon as October 1st. At least that's what the sources are telling your network. Now, September 18th is when MCX had indicated that it would go live by the month end, as the mock sessions so far conducted have been glitch-free. In fact, MCX does have an agreement with 63 Moon to use its platform until December of 2023. So in case there are glitches, there is a possibility that they could go back to the earlier platform as a backup. However, SEBI and MCX's board are yet to approve this move. So we could see this transition happen later than October 1st as well. But right now we are giving to know, which is why we're going to see both these stocks abuzz, TCS as well as MCX, because you're hearing of this new transition that MCX plans to do. Well, also let me tell you something on the diplomatic front. Well, that rift between India and Canada is only widening, and we have seen a lot transpire over weeks. Now, in the latest, well, the Canadian Defence Minister, that is Bill Blair, has described the country's relations with India as a significant one and also crucial. He goes on to reiterate that the Canadian government will continue to pursue partnerships, including the Indo-Pacific strategy. However, in a conversation with a local television channel, Blair also said that Canada has a responsibility to make sure that they conduct a thorough investigation into all that has transpired. Meanwhile, there are reports also doing the rounds that suggest that the Indian government may actually go ahead and cancel registrations of overseas citizens of India or those OCI card holders that are involved in pro-Khalistani activities. So there is action and reactions taking place on both sides, and a lot that has happened over the weeks, and we are going to see this play out pretty much on that diplomatic front till we actually come to some conclusion to it. Well, moving on then, let's see what's happening down south, where the pro-farmers and pro-Kannada organizations this time have called for a complete bandh in Bengaluru. This is happening today, and remember, this is in retaliation to the Karnataka government's decision to allocate Kaveri water to Tamil Nadu. Now, the Kaveri Water Management Authority that has been put in place was recently instructed the Karnataka government to go ahead and release 5,000 cusecs of the river water into the neighboring state. The protesting organizations have asked all schools, colleges as well as IT companies to declare today as a holiday. In fact, we're also going to see public transportation as well as state buses which will refrain from operating at least between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. today. And metro services, though, in Namma Bengaluru are going to be operational, as well as Ola Uber drivers and essential services like hospitals, nursing home, pharmacies and government offices. All of these will remain open. So we are going to see those protests really play out on the streets of Karnataka, and this is not really the first time. The streets of Bengaluru, this is not the first time that we're seeing both these neighboring states really take it to the street when it comes to that contentious Kaveri water. Well, moving on then, speaking about Tamil Nadu, we did get to see some kind of political reactions there yesterday, where Tamil Nadu's AIADMK has officially broken all its ties with the ruling National Democratic Alliance ahead, remember, of the Lok Sabha polls. Now, the party has unanimously passed a resolution to end this alliance with BJP, and AIADMK's deputy coordinator KP Munuswamy alleged that the Tamil Nadu unit of the BJP has been making unnecessary remarks about its former leaders such as C.N. Annadurai as well as J. Jayalalitha. Now, the resolution, without naming anyone, has said that BJP's state brass has also been criticizing the kind of policies that were put in place by the AIADMK. Now, the party, in fact, will lead a separate front in the upcoming 2024 general elections. And remember, this is quite interesting to see because we just saw the BJP get another ally in the JDS in Karnataka just last week, whereas one now breaking off from the NDA alliance. Let's also tell you now all that's doing the buzz on social media. Now, well, all of us were quite excited around that launch of the iPhone 15. Well, people stood in long queues outside all of those retail stores to get their hands on the latest Apple product. And if you were somebody who went ahead and bought one or is planning to buy one, let me tell you, you're not going to be alone, because soon you're going to share something along with the world's richest man, Elon Musk. That's right. Musk has said that he was so impressed by the iPhone's camera quality and the incredible videos that you could get with it that he wanted to go ahead and purchase one himself. Now, this all started when Apple CEO Tim Cook tweeted and really praised the Apple 15's camera, to which Musk responded to that tweet praising the phone's incredible video quality. Soon after those posts and the back and forth of tweets, we saw Cook, who shared a few more pictures from the Apple product launch, to which Musk replied simply saying, "I am going to buy one." Now, this post since then has gone viral, getting over 3 lakh views and as many as 5,000 likes. Even others going ahead and asking Musk on that tweet whether it would just be restricted to the iPhone 15 or whether he also wants to go ahead and buy the Apple Watch. Some even joke saying when they see Elon Musk say things like he's going to buy something, it could actually mean he wants to buy the whole company. And we've seen that before with his acquisition of Twitter. So when he really put out that tweet saying that I would like to buy one, people there joking on the internet saying that maybe he could buy Apple for that matter. Well, moving on then, and we're talking about innovation and especially surrounding generative AI. We've just heard of that big investment from Amazon, and that's not stopping there because it's only growing by the day. And this time around, OpenAI, the makers of Chat-GPT, they have truly raised the bar. They have gone ahead and integrated voice as well as image capabilities into Chat-GPT this time around, which means that soon your Chat-GPT will be able to see, hear and even speak to its users. Now, the update promises more engaging as well as immersive way for users to interact with AI. The ability to engage in live voice conversations with Chat-GPT. This could mean it would be similar to your Apple Siri or Amazon's Alexa. The voice features will be able to narrate bedtime stories to you and also settle debates at the dinner table if you have to. Now, another one of the features that they have introduced is the newfound ability to share images with Chat-GPT. The users can effortlessly just present a single or multiple images, and Chat-GPT will help troubleshoot the issue if you're trying to solve one, delving into the contents as well as analyzing the intricate data that you are going to put out through pictures. The new Chat-GPT features, though, will be released only for subscribers of its Plus as well as Enterprise plan, and this will happen over the next 2 weeks. So, well, if you are a Plus and Enterprise user, subscriber of Chat-GPT, then you're going to get these new features and you're going to have Chat-GPT actually talk to people, listen to your queries and also give you answers to that. So that's quite interesting to see these updates coming in. And well, moving on to some updates from the field of sports, where it was quite a proud moment for India as the Indian women's team really defeated Sri Lanka by about 19 runs to also win that historic Asian Games gold. Now remember, this is the first time that cricket is being played at the Asian Games, and for India to actually clinch that gold medal is nothing short of historic. Now the Indian team could brag this gold at the Asian Games because this is the first time that they're playing it, and of course it was quite an interesting match that we saw take place there. They had to chase a run score of about 116 runs in 20 overs, while Sri Lanka started off badly with just about 14 runs in the 5th over. We did see the Sri Lankans women team score a final of about 97 runs needed of clearly India just having those 19 runs to win. So it was quite an interesting match that we got to see, and the Indian women in blue this time making the country proud. Let's also now tell you what you need to be looking out for today. Now, amidst this ongoing discussion of that 78th UN General Assembly that is taking place, that is underway in New York, we are going to hear from the External Affairs Minister, S. Jaishankar, who's likely to speak today. He has been listed as the third speaker, and we are likely to hear him speak between 6:30 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. It is important because we just recently heard from the Indian side on the whole contention between between Pakistan and that GOK. We also have a lot happening between India and Canada, so maybe we could hear on that front as well, especially on the floors of the United Nations General Assembly. Moving on then, also from the courtrooms, well, there's an urgent mentioning of the petition by former Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu, and he has sought to quash that FIR that has been filed against him by the CID this time in connection with that alleged scam in the Skill Development Corporation. Remember, he was arrested earlier in this month and has just been putting on those bail petitions. Now, the Chief Justice of India himself has directed the lawyers of Naidu to mention this case today, so we could see either respite for him coming from the top courts itself. So all of that for you to look out for. But with that, it's a wrap, and hope this dose of Newspresso was useful, informative and gives you that kickstart to your day. But don't forget to come back here tomorrow, same place, same time, for your fresh shot of Newspresso. From all of us who put this show together, thanks so much for tuning in.